All right, so we just ended talking about expenses. Let's talk about making money, specifically on how long it's going to take to achieve your first $10,000 month. This is kind of the benchmark with self-publishing, making that first $10,000 month, $120,000 a year. So in this video, in this lesson, I'm going to talk about the quality and length of the books that we're going to be producing. Show you why everyone's path is different, and you don't want to get too hung up on some of the examples I'll be showing you or some of the video testimonials that you've been watching, and wondering why, hey, how can I get that person's success, or what if it's taking longer for me? Everyone's path is going to be different. The 4 key things you want to focus on right now, and by far it's the most powerful weapon that you have in your arsenal. So let's dive into the lesson. So the books that we work with are 30,000 words long at a minimum. 30,000 is kind of the sweet spot for the nonfiction niche, for the type of books that we're doing. We don't want them too long. We don't want them definitely any shorter. And there's a few different factors that we'll be getting into later on why 30,000, it is one of the sweet spots in terms of they become more profitable when they're this length. And that's roughly about 150 pages. Now, the reason we don't say, oh, how many pages should my book be? Page count can be manipulated. Word count can't. Page count varies by the size of the font you're using, the formatting in your book, pictures or no pictures, and the overall size of your book, whether you're doing it 8x10, 6x9, or 5x8. So that's why we always like to focus on 30,000 words for most nonfiction niches. Now, it gives your book the chance to get the correct and the proper amount of info to your reader, first and foremost, right? Remember, the number one goal of your book is to make sure when the reader picks it up, it's going to solve the reader's problem. You can't do that with a 5,000 word book. That's ridiculous. You need to have sufficient amount of time to build it up, to build that relationship, to connect with the reader, to walk them through their problem, to find the solutions. High quality books sell better and for longer than shorter or less quality ones. This is a known fact on Amazon now. The higher quality or the longer your book is, the better it does long term on Amazon's marketplace. This means more money for you for a longer period of time, but you're also able to price these books higher. And when we get into audiobooks, your audiobook, this brings in a significantly higher royalty when your audiobook is over 3 hours long, which equivalents to about a 30,000 word book. Your audiobook's going to be about 3 hours long, which pays you significantly more than if it was shorter. And that's one of the reasons that we're able to get a much higher return on investment by investing in a longer, higher quality book. So let me give you 2 examples, 2 self-published books here we're going to take a look at here on Amazon. So the first one is this Beekeepers for a Beginner, an easy practical guide to building a top beehive, keeping bees, harvesting your honey in your backyard, running a successful honeybee business from home. So you're going to find out when we cover the title, why the title lesson, why this is not a very good title. What they're doing is it's called keyword stuffing, just shoving a whole bunch of different phrases or keywords in there. But what I want to do is take a look at just the book. So yeah, the cover is what? Your basic cover. Title, subtitle, picture, author name. Once again, when we go through covers, you're going to understand why that's not the best idea. So this person has their disclaimer. Okay, table of contents, very basic. First view of this, you're like, oh yeah, might be a good book. Okay. Let's take a look at the first paragraph, the value of beekeeping. Okay, the value of beekeeping. Honey for the most part involves 80% of sugars are, the value of beekeeping. Why are we talking about honey? Wax. What does that have to do with the value of beekeeping? This person didn't even put thought into this. The daily life of a colony. Okay, so just look at this. It's point by point, it's like a Wikipedia article. Basically, it's a Wikipedia article in the form of a book. Now, I want you to think about this and compare it to this one. Beekeeping for beginners. How to raise your first bee colonies. Short and to the point. Okay, look at the title. Or the cover, right? The picture incorporated with the title. Beautiful. Okay, so they have a copyright page. Yeah, they have a dedication to my husband. All right. And now their table of contents. Look how they've laid out their table of contents, still clickable, but look how they formatted it. Look at so you want to keep bees compared to the value of beekeeping. Honeybee 101. Right? A home for your bees. Right? Like, look at how this is laid out compared to this one. Okay? Introduction. My beekeeping journey didn't start with a desire to raise bees. It started with a desire to grow my own food. So what the author is doing is relating to their customer. Right? Relating to the reader. What this person is doing is just throwing up a whole bunch of information and not thinking about their customer. Okay? I'm not going to go through the same thing. They're here. They're on Amazon. I'm going to show you the sales rank. So if we take a look, the sales rank for this one is 66,000 in the Kindle store. Okay? So we know they're selling about a book a day. Let's just go the Amazon sellers calculator. So what did I say? 66,000. So 66,000. Okay, so about 4 sales a day. Not bad at all. Not too shabby. Definitely going to take that. Compared to this person. $1.2 million. There we go. 2 sales a month. It's quality over just trying to make money. Okay? I really want to hammer that home. Putting the work that Amber did into making her book that much better. The formatting, the better thought of the cover, everything. It probably took them 4 times as long as this one. Right? And it was probably frustrating for her and, all of that. This one, it was, very little, if any, thought went into it. Remember that as you're going through this process, the more you invest, not just money, but the time and the effort you put into your books, the longer your ROI is going to be. We can even take a look. When were these books published? So June 2019. June 2019 is Amber's, the good one. January 2020 is the bad one. 148 pages, 180 pages. Very similar in length. All right. So what makes a book a success or a failure? Short-term thinking is by far the biggest killer, right? When do you want to make the money back from your book? Are you focused on, hey, I need to make my money back within the first month? Or are you looking at this as a long-term investment and saying 3, 6, or 24 months down the road? Now, what's the average time it takes a book to make its ROI? I can't tell you. It's different for everybody based on their niche, their experience, and their execution, right? I have books that took probably, I think my second book, Emotional Habits, that book, I think it probably took 2 years to make my money back on that book. It was horrible. I was just bad at it. And I've had books that made their money back within the first week. Okay. And so you need to think of this as a long-term business, because it is. You publish a book in January and it makes its profit and it turns an ROI September 1st. That's a win, because now from September all the way until forever is what? It's pure profit. And that's exactly what we're going for here. Here's 2 examples of students, same course you're doing, okay, same program you're doing, just 2 different paths. So student 1, okay, he launched his first book on June 8th. Launched his first book June 8th. July, had a second book out. August, third book. And you see by August, he's barely at $2,500. And keep in mind, the cost of a book is about $1,200. So he's in the red. September, 4th book, right? And then October, 5th book, he's, I believe he finally hit $2,500. And then November, still 5 books, making some more profit. And then December 7th, he has 7 books out now, and he passed his $10,000 mark. January, he did, I believe it was over $13,500 in terms of income, over $13,500 with those 7 books. So it took him a few months, but he steadily kept increasing, right? So that's just one example, and that's a student with 7 books. Here's another example of another student. Now, this student, to make his first $1,000, it took him 18 months because he was writing his own books. English was a second language. He just couldn't afford. He simply could not afford to outsource books. So he had to write his own books, and he had to learn better English and, get them edited. And it took him a while, 18 months to make his first $1,000. But he kept pushing and kept pushing. 26 months after he started my self-publishing blueprint, he earned his first $10,000. Now he floats between $40,000 to $50,000 a month with, I believe he has somewhere around 13 to 14 books out now. 2 very, very different examples, but these are the 2 different types of paths you can take. Some students grab it and get it right away. Others, it takes them a bit of time. Either way, both of these are wins, massive wins. So how to make $10,000 a month? Well, you can have 10 books doing $1,000 each a month, and that's a $120,000 business. You don't need 50 or 100 books. You just need a few quality books marketed properly. And that's the main thing I want you to take away from this. Don't look at it, I need to publish 10 or 15 whatever books. You really don't. You can have 6, 7 books like this person had. 7 books, making over $10,000 a month. You can do that. You don't need a ton of books. They just have to be super high quality, niche down, focused, and all of the things that I'm going to be teaching you throughout the program. So why does this philosophy or program work so well? There's a few different things. The first and foremost, I really think it's defining the customer and understanding what their needs are. The more defined you are with who you want to serve and what their needs are, what their problem is that they want solved, the better your book's going to be. And that kind of ties into focusing on quality books versus just pumping out as many as you can. And utilizing emails to build a relationship with, that is absolutely key. This one student 1, was sending an email to his list every other day. He would send an email to his list, and having a review team, which you are going to learn how to get reviews from day 1. And we're going to be focusing on that later on. But remember, there's no shortcuts in this business. We're here to play the long game, to create a passive income that's going to be paying you years down the road when you're not even publishing books anymore. Who knows? But you'll still be collecting, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month from this business that you started. That's just on autopilot now, and that's the goal. So books are assets. That's how I want you to view them. So one book is one asset on Amazon. The more assets you can place on Amazon, well, essentially, the more income you can make. So we don't just place our books on Amazon, though, right? We also place them on Audible to create another path of income. But then we also place them on other platforms as well to generate more income from the same asset. So what we're going to do is take the one asset and squeeze as much income out of that asset as physically possible. And then the most powerful weapon you have here, you have to remember it's time, because all the effort you put in and the money you invest, you will be paid back in tenfold when you understand this, right? The goal is not to make money this month. That is not the goal. It's not to make money next month. It's to create assets that will make you money every single month 2 years from now, right? It's not get rich quick. It's work now, get rich later, and then stay rich. That is what we want to be focused on.